Hey guys, Ray from Love Your RV. So in this next leg of our Snowbird trip, we moved down the coast a ways, right to where the Columbia River spills out into the Pacific Ocean. Right on the border, the Columbia River is the border between Washington State and Oregon. So I start off the video, I gave you a little bit of a view from this rest stop right down here called Dismal Niche. And it happened to be a really foggy day. Well, there was a fog bank in Oregon, but not in Washington. We were in the sun, but we crossed this long Astoria bridge. I think it's like something like 3 miles or so. And in the fog, it looked like we were driving up into the clouds. So I'll give you a view of that. And then we stayed at this Fort Stevens State Park. Really nice Oregon State Park campground. Really nice campsites. And while I was there, we were just there for 2 nights, so I had a day to explore. So I'm going to take you up to a famous landmark in Astoria. Right up on a hill here, there's something called the Astoria Column. Right up here, and I'll give you some of the views from there. It's up on a hill, and you get some beautiful views of the bridge and the mouth of the Columbia River. Then we go back to Fort Stevens, and I'll show you some around the park here. We'll go right to the tip here, right at the mouth of the Columbia, and also we'll show you some of the old fort there, the actual fortifications there. There's some that go back as far as the Civil War and World War I and World War II. They were guarding the mouth of the Columbia River. Right in here you can actually see right here, this here is the old earthen fort from the Civil War days, and then there's some batteries and armaments over, can't really say that. And we finish off going back to the beach, and there's an old shipwreck right down here. So we head down there and we finish off the day with sunset on the beach. So let's go. Well, we just pulled over at a rest stop along 101 here called Dismal Niche, right on the bank of the Columbia River, just before it hits the Pacific Ocean here. I just thought I'd pull over because it's kind of a cool scene. You can see this big fog bank rolling in, and you can see the bridge there. It's the bridge over to Astoria, Oregon. We're on the Washington side. So we're going to head over that bridge, and we're going to head right into that fog bank. Normally you go way up quite high on the bridge and then down the other side. So I'll give you some footage from the dash cam as we go through there. It's kind of interesting. Supposedly this was a point where the famous Lewis and Clark explorers were pinned down by weather, waves, and wind. So they called it Dismal Niche because they were stuck here 5 days before they could finally get out to their goal to find the Pacific Ocean. So here's our campsite. We're in Loop I, campsite 80. It's a nice big campsite. There's lots to choose from this time of year because they're not full at all. So picked a big one. I think this one's 57 feet long or something. You see I can set up the rig and park the truck, and I still have plenty of room. It's also a 50 amp site. I don't need it, but decided to get it anyway. They've run in a special promotion, a fall promotion, so I got it for $31 $8 a night, and no tax because we're in Oregon, of course. Really nice in here in the forest. Nice roomy sites, good hookups, picnic table, fire pit. They're slanted quite nicely, so you kind of get space between your neighbors as well. So anyway, we're here for one full day, so we're going to explore around the park. I'll show you some of the sights. There's an old shipwreck on the beach that's quite famous, and I think I might take a drive up to the Astoria Column, which sits up on a hill in Astoria, Oregon, and it gives you a big view over on the big bridge that goes across to Washington State and out into the mouth of the Columbia River. So we'll go do that, and then we'll explore the park later this afternoon. Okay guys, it's a beautiful morning. The sun's out, clear skies, so I thought I'd take myself a trip over from here in Fort Stevens State Park back over to Astoria, and up here there's a thing called the Astoria Column, which is up on a hill in Astoria, and it gives you a great view of the mouth of the Columbia River and the Astoria Megler bridge that goes between Oregon to Washington. Also, that might be able to get up and climb into the column. It's pretty cool looking thing. So, I'm gonna take a drive over there and show you that. There she is. So one of the advantages of visiting the Oregon coast sort of in the off season is there's not many people here. It's one reason I like to come in the fall and spring, kind of off season time. You gotta put up with some bad weather sometime and wear a jacket, but get some really nice days like this, it's all worth it. So we can go in there and climb all the way to the top. Check it out. Got some interesting artwork on it. Famous historical people and places. Oh, we gotta go up a big spiral staircase. Almost there though. That's a view. Whew. So there's the bridge we came over. We've stopped on the other side over at Dismal Niche over there, and then I showed coming across in the fog when we came up on the top part there. It looked like we were going nowhere. So we're camped over there. That's Fort Stevens out on that point out there, that peninsula of land. Bridge goes across there, town of Warrington. And then back in the forests there is where we're camped. There's also a really nice campground over this way and over in Washington State, right over about there, called Cape Disappointment. And they have a really nice state park. There's a neat lighthouse over there. Down here is downtown Astoria. Tons of history around here. If you're a history buff, this is a really good place with the Lewis and Clark expedition. All the forts that were here during even the Civil War and of course World War II. This was the mouth of the river was an important thing to defend, and then going right back to the native times. Guess it's not good if you're scared of heights. There's where I was this morning, Astoria Column. Now I've made my way back to Fort Stevens State Park, and I'm on the very tip of land here along the Columbia River. Over on that side is Washington State. As the Columbia feeds out to the Pacific Ocean. Should be able to see Cape Disappointment Lighthouse from here. Here's a map for you. So I just was out here, and you can see there's a few places. We're going to go check out this observation tower here. This is right on the end of the spit shorebird conservation area. I think it's a snowy plovers that they're trying to conserve. Then we'll go back and maybe check out some of, there's a Civil War fort, there's all kinds of history and museums and forts and stuff. Can't get very much today, but we'll take a drive in there, see what's there. Russell Battery, another thing from probably World War II. And then we want to go to this old shipwreck here at sunset. Anne's hoping maybe she can take a picture of it at sunset. Sure is lucky we found parking, that's for sure. Russell Battery. Looks like it was used in the First and Second World Wars. Creepy in here. Pretty wetland area behind here. Wow, somebody's been collecting mushrooms. A lot of different types. Remember that huge one that was by the campsite?
Yeah.
Whaler's Rest.
Yeah, I think it was
It's the
kind of
size
like
of a
this. It had all the spots on it.
size of a Coke can. Huh. Looks like we've already found our elk friends. Didn't take long this year.
you guys pretty.
So this is the fort. All kinds of buildings and gun placements and stuff. You can wander all over this property. It's pretty big. You can see here there's here's all kinds of locations. I don't have time today to wander all through all that, but it looks really interesting. Going back to the Civil War days and right up into World War II. Lots of history. So we went into a little visitor center / museum here, and they had some volunteers in there and really telling us all the history of the place. Really interesting. That's quite the piece of equipment. Load in the shell, and this thing shoots up over the wall and fires. Bizarre. Must have been exciting to see that thing go off. There it is there. Well, this will complete our quick visit to Fort Stevens. We were just in the park for 2 nights, only had really 1 full day to explore. But I want to keep going south, get to a little bit warmer weather, maybe be able to take the jacket off. Till next time, Ray from loveyourrv.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.